Welcome back to another episode of the D&C Reviews podcast. I'm Arjun, as you know. And today we have everyone back. Host Seung is back, and we also have Ronan per usual. And today we're gonna review. Well, we did review Phoebe Bridgers' album, and that was sort of on all the way on the left of the spectrum of music that we want to review. And now we're going all the way back, full 180, and we're doing some gangster rap, some cocaine rap, some bars about bricks from none other than Benny the Butcher from Griselda. It is The Plugs I Met.
This marathon shit, so let's see who first to the finish. If it's less than 100 racks, it don't...
It's 7 tracks, only 25 minutes long. It's a short listen, but let me tell you right now, it's a pretty sweet listen. And yeah, we're just going to get into it. Who would like to start? Least favorite tracks?
All right, I'll start. My favorite was, I think, Crowns for Kings, Sunday School, 5 to 50. And my least favorite, I think, Took the Money. Actually, no, that the Alchemist instrumental, so I think Dirty Harry.
You don't... Alright, hold on. No, alright. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, for me, favorite tracks, Dirty Harry, I like 18 Wheeler, 5 to 50, and Crowns for Kings. I like every single track except for the intro skit. But the intro skit is still really dope. And my least favorite track, if I had to pick, is probably Took the Money to the Plug's House, because it's sort of a solo song. Even though the 5 to 50 is a solo song, I think I just like the beat on 5 to 50 much more.
I think mine's pretty similar with you guys. Favorites, Crowns for Kings, Sunday School, and my least favorite was Dirty Harry as well.
Dude. Okay. Let me just say, like, I feel like we gotta talk about who Benny the Butcher and like Griselda as a collective even are. Like, these guys, it's him, West Side Gun, and Conway the Machine. You could count Boldy James if you wanted to, but these guys, they come from New York. They're literally from like the streets. They've been wheeling and dealing, and that's basically most of what they rap about. They rap about licks that they hit. They rap about selling. They rap about buying. They rap about the plugs that they met. They rap about all this other stuff. Super grimy, and
they're not OG they are OG New York rappers. They're not the new stuff, the 6ix9ines, the Flow TJs,
exactly. You feel like they're like reviving the vibe of like 90s New York rap, which is super dope. Like, they're not trying to switch up or go mainstream or anything like that. They're just doing what they're really good at, and that's always awesome to see. I kind of like to call it like coke rap. Is that like the bars in this type of rap, like every single line is like a bar where you have to like do like a stink face.
Arjun, let me see your stink face.
It's like,
go on. Hey.
Hey.
like, let me tell you, like, after I played the intro skit and he was like the wolf and the blade and all that, right? I was like, okay, this is gonna be sick. Crowns for Kings come on. He starts with like, this is marathon stuff, so let's see you first to the finish. If it's less than 100 racks, it don't deserve your attention because burdens come with it. My second test was serving a sentence. My first was making a brick jump like it was hurdling fences. I was immediately like, those are the first 4 lines. I was like, yo. And then I looked at the feature list and I was like, Black Thought is on this? And then Black Thought comes on, and then he rhymes sommelier with dossier with John Paul Gaultier, and I'm like, dude, what is going on? It's just straight bars.
And the bars were like, they weren't too hard. Like, sometimes you listen to Kendrick and it's like I'm in English class. I gotta dissect each thing. But like here, it's like, okay, it's kind of figurative and it's deep, but it's like the language he uses is like direct, and I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. These are bars that people can understand, but you still kind of have to like be an active like audience member. But at the same time, like the 3 of us, like we don't sell like drugs, right? We don't shoot people up. We don't hit licks. But like, it's just stuff like this that makes me feel like I can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't beat someone up. I'm a pretty small guy, but let me tell you, when I played Dirty Harry for the first time, and I heard that beat, and I heard those bass notes, I know that you guys heard those bass notes. It's like in the beginning of the beat, and I was like, this is the most disgusting beat. Like I know that we talk about like, oh, this beat is gross, this beat is nasty. This is the most disgusting beat I have ever heard. Just the beat alone makes me feel like I could fight someone. And then RJ Payne, who is someone who I didn't know before, comes on with like, my pen moving like I'm improving, I deliver Def Jams, call me Rick Rubin. Does everyone that Benny the Butcher knows, like, do they all just know how to rap well? I just don't get how you guys don't like that song.
I don't know, just wasn't really memorable, I think.
Yeah.
And sometimes, okay, so my problem with the album was that the lyrics were deep, but the theme was kind of the same throughout the entire album. I kind of wanted more variety, and I was kind of getting bored of it. So then the beats started to carry my preference to the songs, but that's, I think, why. I was surprised to see Pusha T on the track.
He said, Benny the Butcher is like catching up to me, and for Pusha T, who's like the godfather of cocaine rap, to like honor Benny the Butcher like that, it just goes to show that like he really is like next up, you know?
Yeah.
It just turned out to be a really nice track. But yeah, I definitely agree. The producers really went off on this album. But let me just say, I know that this might be kind of a bold statement, but I don't think Benny the Butcher had a bad verse on this entire thing.
I agree with you, but that also raises the point where it's like he doesn't have bad lyrics, which means they're not like, he has good lyrics, like he has bars, right? But there's no like that one bar that you can kind of remember. It's like one that singles out all of them, and that's the problem with having a consistent flow of bars. It's like you're keeping up the levels kind of so high, but you're not hitting the peak. If you don't have a bottom, you can't hit the peak. It's just continuous in a way. So that's something I noticed. Yeah,
I think that if you go to a track like Sunday School, you got a lot of quotables on that song. He was saying stuff like, I got a lamb and a stick like I'm fresh out the Bible. Like, that's a quotable. And I felt like the chemistry between Benny and all the collaborators was like, especially with the producers, everything just ticked all the boxes for me. He said that he was gonna write an album only on the plugs that he met. Like, the album's called The Plugs I Met. Every single song is about like a different plug that he met, and I'm not expecting him to talk about his mental health or like his kids or something like that.
I think it's pretty good, like the fact that he featured people that he knows, like he knows like what kind of capability they can have. And like, for example, the Justin Bieber's new deluxe album, you got featurings like The Baby, Quavo, and they really didn't like fit the album at all. But then the plugs I met over here, like everyone like fit well on the songs, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, like you love to see an album where everything feels intentional and like deliberate, and the execution was just pretty much flawless. I don't think that there was a bad verse on the entire thing. Like on the plugs I met too, you have like bad verses from like French Montana and like Fat Joe, which kind of brought it down. But Benny was never like severely outperformed unless it was an extreme case, like maybe Black Thought. It really goes to show that he can rap.
Yeah, I also think it emphasizes the point about kind of staying in your lane, because think about all like when Seung mentioned like, you know, The Baby with Justin Bieber, I started thinking of like other rap songs that have like features that were unexpected and they're kind of bad, like Travis Scott and what's her name, Rosalia.
Oh, yeah.
Highest in the Room.
That's
a terrible song.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I feel like this album, it's a short listen, so it's not like you're wasting your time. And if you're not into like hardcore stuff, like my main point is that this album like made me feel like I could do stuff that I am absolutely not capable of doing. It's an instant confidence booster. If you're going to the gym, you might want to put this on. You know how like some people shout and scream in their raps to act aggressive and intense? He just does that with his words. Like, he's not loud and you're like, oh, he's hard because he's loud, like 6ix9ine, but 6ix9ine is not hard. Like, he's hard because his bars are hard, and the beats are hard, and that's all that it should really come to, you know.
And the beats aren't that loud, you know, like no hard 808s, all kind of smooth.
I really like 5 to 50 as the ending track, because he talks about how he went from dealing drug money or making drug money to making rap money, and how that transition was for him. And for that to be the last track is pretty cool, because it sort of leaves you with a little bit of food for thought. I get what you're saying, Ronan, about like how like there's not a lot of like variation, there's not a lot of like self-reflection, but it's not super explicit. I feel like the self-reflection is like implied in most of these bars, because everything that he's rapping, I'm just gonna take his word for it. He's probably seen it or done it, and it's just him just coming to terms with like where he is now, especially as like a rapper, as opposed to being like a trapper.
Yeah, I get you.
No extra stuff to go over. We can just give this thing a rating. Song, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this album. I like the bars, they're all balanced out. And if you want to hear something that's gonna hype you up, or just like you're trying to chill, I recommend you to listen to this album. But maybe I want more variations in the album, maybe like beat switches, like changes in flow. But yeah, overall it was very interesting. And yeah, I'll give this a rating of 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty fair rating. For me, from the intro skit to 5 to 50, I didn't see a lot of faults with this album. I feel like on the songs where there were 2 features, like on Sunday School and on Dirty Harry, Benny may have been overshadowed by some of the features, but the beats always complimented him. He didn't have a bad verse, so Benny individually did well, but sometimes I felt like him plus the features, like there was a little bit of like confusion, but that didn't really affect my listening experience. I had a really good time listening to this. And coke rap and like drug dealing, that's as far away as anything is to me in terms of like familiarity. But I don't know, I felt like I was immersed into this world of Benny the Butcher, Griselda, and like New York, and it was a really interesting, easy, and really fun listen. So for all of that, I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10.
I would say it was a very solid album. I think I liked most of the songs, pretty much all the songs, but there wasn't like, if I were to pick a song and put it in a playlist or something, there wasn't like that one song that kind of stood out for me. And that's what I would say is a flaw. And also another flaw I might say is how I wish the features kind of interacted with each other more, kind of bring different energies. Like some of them, the kind of style and the lyrics they were saying were a little similar to Benny the Butcher. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Damn, okay.
6.5, 7.5, 8.5.
Damn, okay. Yeah, so there you have it. Benny the Butcher, Plugs I Met, review. We're everywhere. DNC is literally everywhere. Anywhere you get your podcast, anywhere where you get your audio, we will probably be there. We're on YouTube per usual. We're trying to get 200 subs, but I mean, if you like this album, if you hated this album, just comment down below regardless. We love engagement. We rarely get any of that nowadays. But yeah, it's just always a good time to do this. It's a weekly thing, so it kind of it's a good thing to have in my routine. And yeah, it's been a good time reviewing this. I felt like this album is, I mean, as long as we all rated it over a 5, it's definitely something that we would all recommend that you try out for yourself. So yeah, Plugs I Met, Benny the Butcher, hardcore hip hop rap, 2019 release. The review is now over. Thank you and goodbye.